The road to Marvel Tokon's official release just got exciting with the brand new trailer we got at the PlayStation State Play 2 weeks ago. It showcased new characters like Wolverine, Danger, and Magic, story cutscenes that gave us a glimpse of who our heroes are fighting against this time around, and new gameplay changes that fans have been waiting for. But alongside all of this, we also got confirmation on how many characters the launch roster will consist of. 20 characters will make up the base roster of Marvel Tokon, with 9 more characters that have yet to be revealed. Now, a lot of people have thought long and hard about who these characters could be, but I've come up with my own list to give you guys my theory on who would make the base roster. Now, this was an extremely hard list to make, as there are a lot of factors to take into consideration when making this roster. My picks will consider the story of the game of what we know so far, the fact that the developers want to add in Marvel characters that have never been in a Marvel fighting game before, and the team leaders that we were given at the end of the X-Men trailer. My list also keeps in mind the comment the developers made about how villains and heroes will team up together in these story teams. If you didn't know, Danger is actually a villain in the Marvel universe, so them being on an X-Men team with the heroes adds up with what the developers are trying to do. But overall, this list is not just going to be a list of my favorites, but also characters that make sense for the game. Additionally, be prepared, because I'm 1000% sure that a lot of fan favorite characters are going to end up being DLC, so if by the end of the video you're asking, how is X character not base roster? The sad reality is that you're probably going to be asking that once the actual roster releases too. But before I start going down this list, do me a quick favor and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon. I have a fun time trying my hardest to do quality Marvel Tokon content weekly, so if you're someone who is very interested in Tokon, I'm definitely someone you want to follow. But anyways, without further ado, let's start going down this list. So first up, let's go ahead and talk about Team Captain America. Of course, with Earth being in danger right now, you're gonna need the Avengers to pop up, right? So I'm pretty sure Captain America's team is going to be the Avengers. We're gonna call this team Earth's Mightiest Alliance. Now let's get into what you're waiting for. Who is going to be on this team? Well, obviously we're going to have Iron Man, right? I mean, that's definitely an Avenger, and he's definitely gonna be with Captain America. I don't see how Iron Man would not be on that team. It's kind of a no-brainer at this point. And Tony could probably definitely investigate the cosmic destruction of what's going on scientifically. Whatever's going on with the story, Tony definitely can figure out a really good strategy for the Avengers, you know, because he's rich. Next up, we have Hulk. I'm gonna be honest with you, I really don't see a Marvel fighting game ever releasing without Hulk. I mean, come on. Not only, of course, is he on the Avengers as well, but Hulk just feels like a character you need to always have in a Marvel fighting game. I mean, I don't know, it's just this big green guy, we all love him. He's a necessity to pretty much every Marvel fighting game. So, also, if Champion of the Universe is indeed a part of the story, I would like to see how Hulk and Champion fight against each other. You got strength versus strength going on, so that would be pretty exciting to see. But yeah, guys, Hulk is gonna be in here, I believe. This is my pick. Now, you're probably thinking Thor is gonna be an obvious pick next, right? Well, hold on a minute, y'all. Let's go ahead and get something straight here. Remember, Marvel Tokon is trying to add characters that have never been in a Marvel fighting game before, and they're also trying to have villains team up with heroes in the story. So, you know what that means? Loki. That's right, guys. Loki is my pick, the ultimate trickster god. Loki has never been in a Marvel fighting game before, funny enough. So putting him in Tokon would definitely be a pretty good debut for him. I could totally see Loki trying to go ahead and join the Avengers for a bit, not only because, well, of course, the universe is in danger, so Loki would also be affected, but Thor probably went ahead and told Loki to be a little friendly with the Avengers this time around, while Thor is probably doing his own thing, probably defending Asgard, considering that Asgard is also in danger. Also, Loki probably knows a bit more about this cosmic threat than people might understand. But overall, this is Team Earth's Mightiest Alliance. Not Earth's Mightiest Heroes, but Alliance, because you do have a villain on his team, thus calling it an alliance. We got the strength, we got the tech, we got the leadership, and we got the tricks. Nice looking Avengers team, not gonna lie. But with this out the way, Hulk and Loki are the characters that I will put in this roster, with 7 more characters to be revealed. So let's keep going down this list. Next up, we have Spider-Man's team. Now, this might be the easiest one for you guys to predict. Yes, this is going to be a very street level team I'm going to make here, because while everybody else is going ahead and doing their own thing, somebody's got to protect the civilians, right? This is where Spider-Man and a couple of other heroes can defend the civilians while all the other heroes are doing this cosmic stuff. This team is called Power and Responsibility. And in case you were thinking, yes, Miss Marvel will be on this team. Miss Marvel is a street level hero. She's very optimistic, young, and she's a fan of of absolutely every superhero. And she also looks up to a lot of them, so this can be her chance to go ahead and make herself grow as a hero by helping out civilians during this horrific time, making a big name for herself. But it's not just Spider-Man she has to prove herself to, because Daredevil is going to be on this team as well. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am putting Daredevil on this team. Daredevil makes so much sense for this team because not only has he really never been in a Marvel fighting game before, which is absolutely absurd. Of course, Daredevil is a street level vigilante with hypersenses and keeps a very grounded perspective on things. Daredevil, Spider-Man, and Miss Marvel are definitely a really good bunch to have, and I'd be so interested in seeing how they would talk in a story, how their intros and outros would be, so many cool stuff. But who's next on this list? The answer will surprise you. Kingpin.
I still want that gas, yes.
Now, out of all of the characters I talk about in this video, I think Kingpin has to be my favorite one right now. Once again, a character that has never been in a Marvel fighting game but has a lot of potential to show within Tokon. With the world at risk, Kingpin is gonna have to protect something because losing it means losing control. It will be a great way to show how power structures and criminal empires react when the world is at risk. With a crime lord mastermind like Kingpin with immense influence and physical power, he could do a lot to aid civilians, especially if this means that he's trying to make himself mayor of New York. So yeah, there you have it. Spider-Man, Miss Marvel, Daredevil, Kingpin, power and responsibility. And now with Daredevil and Kingpin being the new characters I add, we now have 5 characters left in the roster. So let's keep it going. Okay, now Dr. Doom's team was kinda hard to make at first. I was kinda wondering what Dr. Doom's team would look like in Tokon, but then I thought, you know what, we don't have a lot of villains in this roster right now. So I figured, hey, let's go ahead and add a full villain team and call it the Sovereigns. Everyone on this team is basically a supreme ruler of something, so let's talk about it. Doom, of course, with his huge ego, would never let a cosmic threat exist unchecked at all. To him, he is the only one that can rule anything, and anything else that's in his way, they gotta get out the picture. So why not assemble some villains, right? Magneto. Now this makes a lot of sense. If the world is in danger, that means mutants are in danger, and that means that Magneto ain't gonna have none of that. Magneto might be a villain, but he's gonna protect what he loves, and he's more than willing to team up with Doom to go ahead and accomplish those goals, just like Doom. Oh, and I mean, you can't have a Marvel fighting game without Magneto too, right? So next up, we have Namor. Yeah, Namor is also a character that has never been in a Marvel fighting game before, and he makes sense for the story too, considering that now that Earth is in danger, that means that Atlantis is in danger as well. So with Doom, Magneto, and Namor, we gotta have another villain too in this team, right? I lied. I'm gonna put a hero here. Star-Lord. Don't get me wrong, Star-Lord was very hard to figure out what team he would be on, considering that he's not a team leader, but honestly, having him be on his villain team kind of makes a bit of some sense. After Chandelar was destroyed by whatever cosmic threat is going around, I'm pretty sure Star-Lord caught wind of all of that while he was journeying through the galaxy, or maybe he was actually on the planet and escaped on time. So Star-Lord's first thought is probably to go ahead and approach the villains to see if they have any involvement in this. After Doom, Magneto, and Namor have the discussion with Star-Lord, Star-Lord then realizes that all the other heroes are occupied with this threat, so he decides to go ahead and team up with these villains. Not something that he likes, but the world is in danger, so they all gotta work together. And that's the thing, this team is all about we'll save Earth, but in our own way. And when you really think about it, that's how a lot of these teams are in Tokon, considering the fact that there are going to be villains and heroes teaming up with each other to face off against this cosmic threat. And that's why this team is called the Sovereigns, because every single one of these characters, including Star-Lord, is some sort of supreme ruler or something. But now, with Magneto and Namor now in the roster, we have 3 more characters left to add. Who are they going to be? Let's find out in this Ghost Rider team. Alright, let's get something straight here. If there is any Ghost Rider that is a leader of any team, that team has to be Midnight Suns. Midnight Suns is a well-known Marvel Comics Marvel team that is formed by multiple Ghost Riders like Danny Ketch and Johnny Blaze. Now obviously, Robbie Reyes is the representative Ghost Rider in Tokon, but apparently there is some reason for that. The developers stated a while back that they chose a younger Ghost Rider this time around for the story purposes. So I'm assuming that this is some sort of new Midnight Suns team that Robbie Reyes formed on his own. So we're gonna call this team Midnight Suns Reforged. This team is going to consist of Midnight Suns members, but the way how I would view Tokon would do it. Starting with Blade. Now come on y'all, let's get it together. We have never seen Blade in a Marvel fighting game before. Everybody's excited about him being in Tokon. People beg for him all the time. Ever since the Marvel vs. Capcom games, we need Blade. But also he makes sense now because Blade is also a Midnight Suns member. Now my next pick is going to be a huge deep cut, and it's actually Nico Minoru. Now I've seen quite a bit of people asking for this character for Tokon, and honestly I can kind of see her being in the game. Not only is she a Midnight Suns character, but this is a Japanese American superhero heroine that's a goth girl, a sorceress, she does a lot of magic, etc. Considering that Marvel Tokon is a Japanese-made game, it kinda makes sense for them to pick Nico. So honestly, pretty great pick. But let's add a villain that might not be a Midnight Suns, but has some ties to Ghost Rider, Blackheart. Now this would be a pretty cool add, to be honest, because Blackheart is really a Ghost Rider villain, but Robbie Reyes I don't believe has ever actually interacted with Blackheart. Not only would it be really cool to see Blackheart in a modern day right now, considering that he hasn't really been in any Marvel fighting games since Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but it was also pretty great to see how he handles himself in the story. Blackheart is the son of Mephisto, and he's a character that is very rebellious. He doesn't really like his dad, he's always trying to prove himself, very unstable guy, but he's also willing to team up with superheroes. There was even one point in the comics where Blackheart tried to work with Punisher, Ghost Rider, and Wolverine to defeat Mephisto, but that didn't go too well for him, so but hey, he's willing to work with heroes. And by the way, I still think those statues in the Marvel Tokon intros are actually clones of Blackheart, so I do think that Mephisto still has some sort of involvement within the story. And also, just like Nico, he is a deep cut character, these days at least. But with that said, we have our characters added with the 20 roster list alongside the cast that was revealed. I added in Hulk, Loki, Daredevil, Kingpin, Magneto, Namor, Blade, Nico Minoru, and Blackheart. These are the base roster characters that will be a part of the story. Assuming that Champion of the Universe is the villain of the game, he is a cosmic entity obsessed with strength. And now that he sees Earth as the next worthy world, Captain America and his team will defend Earth traditionally, Spider-Man and his team will protect the civilians while this is happening. Doom's team, aside from Star-Lord of course, will show the true potential of villains teaming up together to protect the world, and Ghost Rider's team's huge focus is combating all of the dark forces that could come out of this. But those are my picks for the 20 character roster based off of what we know so far with the game. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you guys have any disagreements with this? Do you guys think it's pretty cool? Did you guys make your own rosters yourselves? Go ahead and tell me in the comments about it. And as always, from me to you, have a blessed day.